Hey, hey, John here again. So I put this water heater in a few months back, and it's a Rheem hybrid. It's got a heat pump on the top. It's got, it's electric heating elements. So when I put this in, I had no idea about heat pumps or no idea about anything. But I installed it myself, do-it-yourselfer, read the directions, and one of the things that came up was venting it, right? Should you vent it or not? And if you read the directions, this is a basement. There was no need to vent anything. And then, of course, after I made the video, there was a few comments on you should have vented it. And outdoor venting, I disagree with that, but the exhaust part. But I'm talking about the inlet part. And the question is, should you vent your, hybrid water heater or not? And I didn't at first, but I gotta say, you can, and it's gonna work better. It's gonna be more efficient. So there's a few things that I didn't know about, and I still don't know. It's a magic trick, really, heat pumps. So the heat pump mode is the most efficient mode. I didn't know that. I had it on energy saver mode, and that's not the most efficient. You would think energy saver mode, like saving money? No. That is just an okay, so electric mode only is like the worst cost efficient way. And then a step up from that would be the energy saver, which uses the electric elements as well as the heat pump in conjunction. I don't know if it's, whether you're doing a lot of laundry or showers or whatever. I don't know which one takes over more or whatever. Then there's a high demand. I'm not sure what that is. I'm assuming they're both running at full tilt all the time. If you got it on a mode, I'm not sure. But, so I did vent this, and a few months later, probably 6 months later or whatever it is, and it does make a difference. So I just wanted to go and show how I vented it, and maybe get some pointers, or not pointers, but ideas, because I'm not an HVAC guy, I'm not a plumber or anything, I just do everything myself. So what I did to vent it, I have a bathroom right upstairs. I'll go with, I already did it. Obviously it's done, the vents there, wasn't there before, but I'll show you what I did and show you what my thought process was as far as, how this went down. But I gotta tell you, the venting of it, I'm not gonna say it made a huge difference, because it's not like I was looking at prices, oh, it costs this much to run this thing. I have no idea, but I did notice that the temperature of the water was hotter. Like if you have it on electric mode only, you can tell the difference on electric mode only as opposed to the heat pump only. There was a difference. I say a significant difference. You could tell the difference just by taking a shower. Wow, that's hotter. So venting this kind of did the same trick, pulling in the hot air as opposed to the ambient temperature down here in the basement, and then it was expelling it down here in the basement. So there was a cycle of, expelling cold air, and then it would suck it in, from the same room. So that was kind of, I don't know what the word is, but it was working. Don't get me wrong. There was hot water. It wasn't like there was a problem. It's just that venting it from a different room that has heat. I've rented it from a bathroom that has not only heat, it's warmer air and moist air as well, which I think for a heat pump is probably ideal. And I live in New England, so the basement is where this sucker lives. If I was in South Florida, let's say, it's always hot and muggy down there, so you could put it in your garage or wherever, and it would probably be an efficient machine. And again, I'm not. There's no way I can pull numbers and show you what the exact difference is, but I can show you what I did to vent this thing, the intake, and it does make a difference. So let me get to that. When I installed this, I read the directions, and based on the size of the room, this is wide open basement, you didn't need to vent it. So it's always about 60-something degrees down here, winter and summer, really. And it sucks in the cold air, it's supposed to be warm air, but the air gets sucked in here, and then it gets expelled out there, and it's supposed to magically, transfer the heat that's going in to your water. So Now what I'm up against is I wanna, based on the comments, I probably should vent this or get it. This is the intake, and this is the exhaust. I don't care about the exhaust. Like I said, it's always a little bit, whatever the temperature is down here, I don't really care in the basement. So if it's expelling a little bit of cold air, it's going to drop the basement a few degrees. I don't care about that. But what I'm interested in is getting some, I guess, hot warm or warm air, warm moist air rather, is ideal for this. If you can get a room that has warm moist air into this machine, it's going to do a lot better. You know, maybe the warm air coming in here will help this thing out, be more efficient rather, you know. So I'm just going to add a vent to it, an intake vent. I think it'll be easy enough for me because the room I need it from is right up top side here. So there's a heat duct going right up into the bathroom. So I think initially what I'm thinking is I'm probably going to take this heat duct, cut it in half, and still have heat going up there, and then pan all this in, box it in with sheet metal, so I can draw the hot air from the bathroom down into my intake here. Of course I have to box this in, probably do some kind of flex tube or something, box everything in, but I still obviously need heat going up. But like I said, the floor, everything's tiled, and to make things easier, I think I'm gonna just share. Well, you'll see how it goes when I do this, and you'll get what I'm saying. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is take this register out. I have to go upstairs, and it's probably nailed in to the wood. Release that, cut the tape, get this thing down, and I want to have this. I want to cut this in half and then piece it back together. So I'm going to have half the register for forced air, for air conditioning and heat, and the other half over here for this trunk coming down for the intake here. Alright, so this should be pretty straightforward. Nice and dirty. There are some roofing nails there. Might have to get a pair of pliers. See, just roofing nail there. Yeah, so we got that booger out of there. You can see downstairs. Let me put this back in here. I probably should clean that up. Nah, screw it. Let the missus mess with that. So might be a sec, so I gotta leave that. Let's go back down. I already got the pipe off, and we gotta have it, but let me go show you what it's doing. So we got it removed, and that's the pipe there, but it's seen better days, so I might have to. I'm gonna cut this hidden, but have this. But this thing needs to be reworked a little bit. A lot of space involved, and it's a little bit beat up. So I'll probably address that, but I have to cut it anyway. So I'll get rid of this little trim here and make another piece of trim, because this has got to go up and meet just below the floor, which it did, but it was a little bit gummed up as you can see, and this tape is probably 30-40 years old. So we'll got to put new tape on it. But let's cut her up and get her in half, and then piece it all back together. There goes nothing. See what happens. We'll see what happens. I ain't scared. 1.5. So now I've got a 6-inch, it'll be like this, blowing hot air, which is fine. This is 6 inches here. It'll be fine, trust me. Again, I'm not an HVAC worker or a metal worker, but trust me. So now the next piece, I'm just going to make, I got some new sheet metal, make the 12-inch ring, right? Where is it? This fella here we destroyed. Alright, so that's that. I have this built, so it's good to go. I did do the screws on the inside. I don't know if I'm going to clip them off. It really doesn't matter, but this is my discharge. The heat's going to come in here, blow out here, and this is sucking air from the upside, from the bathroom, the hot, moist air. So it's a split thing. Heat, or what do you call it? Suction intake, right? So I don't feel the need to tape all this up. This is crimped over. I don't know if I showed that. So everything's solid, and hopefully it fits in the fits in the register hole, because otherwise I'm gonna have to modify the other thing. So this is where you know, that register is going to go, but all this needs to be boxed in, panned in, as what it's referred to. From this joist over, just everything panned in, boxed in. So I'm going to leave this piece off because I think I'm going to have to do it in a 2-piece unit rather than make a 6-inch circle and try to pan everything. I think I'm going to make a 2-piece thing. You'll see how it goes. I know it looks a little confusing now, but pan everything, box everything in, and then once that's in place, I'll make a box for here, or a half moon, or whatever this is, some kind of plenum, and then connect it to with some kind of rigid, flexible pipe, because it's not exactly aligned here. So that piece is built, and I think the next move here is to pan this in from this corner first. So I'm just gonna take a look. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but I'm going to do 2 pieces because it's going to be too much of a bear to do one panned in piece with that circle. So I'll take some measurements and do the back half here with a half round, and then do this side with another half round. So get that edge, those 2 pieces put together. Well, so I got this little square mapped out. I think just going to start with this one side. Well, this might have to be a guinea pig here, so, because it's really hard to measure that, but I start somewhere. That fit pretty good, actually. So I just had to loosen up some of these staples, get some wire down. I got it up in there. I got a screw up in there, got one on the side here, and one down there into the wood. So that left side's done. Of course, once that's all taped up, it should be pretty sealed good. So I had a little tape, HVAC tape, to get up in there, you know, to this piece, and that's, I had screwed it in. It's permanent there, that side, and of course I had to put this piece in here because it's starting to box this in. So I put this piece of wood here just for the, well, you'll see. I made this second piece here. This one was a little bit of a Beastie Boys move here. It was a little bit tricky. Remember that song? I had to make a notch for the electric wire that's fell up there, and then getting this circle here. I gotta admit, it was one try and it was perfect, but I got lucky because just the way that folds down this way, and the other side folds the other way. I don't know if you can see that, but just to grab the wood and the other pan. Well, anyways, let me set this camera down and see if this sucker fits, because I just tweaked it just a hair more. So let me hold on a second. All right, so I think this is the hard part. Once I get this done, I think the rest of it should go fairly easy. Just because cutting around this pipe, the other ones are kind of just straightforward. Just you know, box it, just pan it in. These intricate cuts, you know, because I had to go around well, basically everything. So, just like this. So, take you up in there. I'll screw it up and put some screws in there. Whoops, what am I looking at here? Put some screws and some tape. It's pretty much, it's not exactly, well, it might go up a little bit. No, it's flush. It's flush with the wood here on the bottom and flush over here. And I'll put a little tape around that wire and put a couple screws up in here into the floor screw here. A couple screws, well, probably this way, screw. Tape it up, and that'll be that. So that's pretty much panned in for this bay here. Alright, this one's going to be easier because it's just a rectangle. So it was 8 3/4 by 10 3/4. Then you want to add an inch on each side. Inch here, inch there, because the way the flanges, the screw flanges, and some got to go this way, some got to go that way, but so it's 2 inches longer on this side and this side. Alright, so that's about it. I forgot about the electrical wire, and then I cut them 2 little tabs off, so that's it. Alright, well, I got this piece up here. That's it's all taped up and buttoned up. That proved to be a little tricky too, actually. I know it looks pretty straightforward, but so got the flanges on that side, screwed it on the outside, and taped it on the inside. And now I can add a piece of wood here, like this one. Add a piece of wood, and then I'll do the bottom pan. And of course, I better cut my hole out before. Well, let me measure everything up, get everything good to go, and then cut the hole. So it's looking pretty good. I got everything almost buttoned up here. Alright, so pretty much gonna piece this last piece in. So that's the left side. Everything's good. So I think you start finally get the picture here. So that's the other side, and then all that's left. And I added another nailer here. This board here. So it's basically just a rectangle, flat piece. There are going to be no bends involved, and then a hole in the center. And that basically is going to be my trunk. That's going to be the you know, heat supply, AC supply on the left, and then the right is wide open. It's going to be the trunk. So let me piece that last piece in, cut a hole in the center, and then I just got to run the tube down to here. This piece should be fairly easy. We'll see what happens though. Measure it twice, go once! Busy, can't get the phone right now. Yeah, this works. Screw it up there, then this trunk will come down. So let me finish bending these tabs over and throw some tape on there. I'm gonna be good. right? Now we're talking. Looks like it makes more sense. I gotta put these wires back up. But so we got the tube, or the pipe coming in. Got my, you could probably see up in there. So this pipe goes up, right? Still got the heat and the AC, and then that's upstairs. That's gonna suck air from this fella, hot, moist air, and hopefully this thing works out a little better as far as efficiency. This hot water heater, but I think the box came out okay. I mean, it almost looks like I knew what the hell I was doing, huh? So the next piece is I'm going to have to put this flex pipe down to here. I got some 6-inch flex pipe, so that'll be easy peasy there, I think. And I think I'm just doing a just sheet metal here. Maybe I'll raise it up with some foam rubber tape, right? And then just have that collar, like to start a collar up there, here, right? Should be easy enough. Instead of making a box on here, I think making a box on here is just kind of overkill. Alright, so for this top inlet, I was originally going to do just a piece of sheet metal, cover all the vent, and over here, and then just put a round 6-inch round, you know, cut a hole in that, and then just you know, screw it to there, and then do the flex pipe. But I've changed my mind, and I think I'm going to use this fella, which is much bigger. Do something like that, and then do flex pipe, right? More volume. I think that'll work a little better, and then just do the flex pipe there. Alright, something like this. Wrap it like a present. I mean, cut the square hole in the bottom piece there. These flanges are folded under. I don't feel the need to tape it on the bottom here, but I HVAC taped it on the front, sealed all the stuff, and we're going to screw this down to the water heater. I guess you can throw tape in there if you want to seal that up, but I think it's sealed on this side. What's the diff? So let's go plug this in, see if it works. Alright, so that's basically all it is, and it's just going to sit on there, and I'm just going to screw it down with little tiny screws, and I think that should be good enough. I was debating on whether to put some foam tape on the back side of this, but I think it's just overkill. It would squish a little bit, so, well, I don't know if it's going to sit as flat as it is now. I don't think it matters. I mean, basically all you're getting in here is probably can't see nothing in there. Most of the grate is as you can see, there's an overhang overlap, so I don't think putting this foam in is going to do anything. In fact, it might make it a little wavy. I'd rather have it sit flat once I bolt it down. So let me screw everything down and call this phase 3 done, and then get to phase 4, put that pipe in there, and then see if this thing actually does any better. Alright, so we're done here. Make sure you don't crowd your air filter, right? So that's all bolted up, probably a little overkill, but that's sturdy. Alright, so let me get that flex pipe and attach that, and then we're done. Done. So it came up pretty good. I don't know if it works, or I know it's going to work, but I don't know if this thing's going to be more efficient, but we shall see. Alright, well, so that is that. Flex pipe is, you know, just get it started was the problem, but I taped it up on both ends, and that's a wrap. I think this project came out good. Oops, I gotta put my wires back up, I see. Let me staple them back up, but there's the truck up there coming down here, and we're good. So all I got left here is clean up on aisle 8. Once I get that cleaned up, I got a few things I want to talk about, and then that's a wrap. So let me staple this up and get to it. So the heat pump's on. This is the side with heat. The heat ain't on, but you see nothing happened. Move it over here. Oop, I was out of frame. So I should turn the heat on. So right now, nothing, right?
This half is heat, this half is suction. But, so that works pretty good. So it's sucking the cold air, or the hot air, from the bathroom. Let me go turn the heat on. I bet you this will blow and this will suck. It'll be like, oh, there it goes. The heat just came on. So suck, blow. Suck, blow. I don't know, crack myself up. Suck, blow. I could be here all day. Well, that's most interesting indeed. So in the basement here, the way this was working was it would suck ambient air from the basement, which in the wintertime usually ranges from whatever, 55 degrees maybe to 65 max. So it would suck it in here and discharge it here, right? And this is cold air coming out of here, obviously, and then it'd be just a cycle, because this room is big enough, you don't need to vent it. But now that I vented it, check this out. So that, I don't know if it's going to come out on camera. Probably not. 82 degrees. Let's see if we can, yeah, I can't pick that up on the camera. But it's 82 degrees. Oh, just went up to 90 something. So 83 degrees right there. You know, sucking it from the bathroom. 83 degrees, which normally would be 60 something degrees. So I think this heat pump is going to do really good here. And the temperature coming out of there, if I can get it right. So from 85 degrees to 63 degrees. So the heat pump, I turned this up to 150 just to turn things on. But that's, I think that's going to do the trick, yeah? I mean, holy smokes. Let's see what this is up here. It's about 77, oops, out of frame. About 77 degrees up top there. And the pipe itself is 81 degrees. Yeah, so about 80 degrees. And the temperature down in this basement just typically is, well, it's saying 67, but that's just on a piece of metal rack. I don't have a thermometer down here, but it's generally pretty cool down here. Alright, so it's been about a week now, and the question still remains, should I vent my hybrid water heater or not? And I did vent it. It wasn't vented before, and it worked fine. I had no problems with it. I think today's heat pump, especially the technology today, you know, grabbing the outside air temperature, the ambient air temperature around it, sucking it in, and having the heat pump do its magic and expelling colder air in a wide open space like this, I don't really think it matters. Just grabbing a heat source that's warmer than the downstairs, I thought maybe would be better. But again, I'm not a, you know, thermodynamics wizard or anything like that, so I'm thinking the heat pump is going to grab whatever the temperature air is and condense that and make it hotter. So whether you grab hotter air or not, the unit is going to do the same thing. It's going to extract the hot air and you know, do its thing. So grabbing warmer air from another room, you know, just common sense would tell you, yeah, it's probably going to be better for it, more efficient. But I have no way of measuring that. The water heater still works like it did before. I guess I don't hear it is running as often when it's in this heat pump mode. So it might be more efficient. So the other thing I wanted to say before I sign off here is exhausting this. I feel no need to exhaust this. And same with the inlet. Some people say, you know, grab the outside air. That's, in my opinion, not a very smart idea, because if it's 0 degrees outside, you're sucking in cold air. Same with expelling this. I had a few comments to say, you know, vent this outdoors. I don't see the purpose of that, because again, in the wintertime, if it's 0 degrees outside and this thing isn't running, then the cold air is going to come back into your water heater. Yeah, I mean, it'd be like standing in front of a window during the winter. You can feel the cold air coming through the winter. I mean, through the window rather. And I would imagine it's the same way. So venting this to another room, maybe, but honestly, this wide open space, and that's what the directions say up there, if you know your rooms are a certain dimension, there is no need to vent this thing. And it turns out it's true. I did vent this for the warmer air, the inlet, because I thought it was a good idea, and it still might be. I don't know. Just saying, if you're thinking, do you have to vent it? You don't. You don't have to vent it, unless this is in a closet, in a confined space, and that kind of made sense to me. It would be just too much. You need to vent it, at least vent the, you know, this part, the exhaust out. So that's all I got. I mean, again, I wish I had a way to measure this before and after, as far as if it's more efficient, but I don't. And venting it, it does seem to be quiet, or you know, the heat pump not as running as often. It just, in my memory, just thinking, it seems like this thing runs a lot when it was on heat pump. And I think I pointed out earlier, you put this on electric, even though the temperature is the same, it seems like it's higher, the water. I don't, you know, that doesn't make sense because the temperature is the temperature. But the electric, you know, part of it, especially if you have it in a dual mode where it's using heat pump and electric to keep up with your demand of water, I just felt like the electric only produced hotter water. And that might be just a feeling, it might be just crazy, but the heat pump, still, you're gonna have hot water. It's not like it's not working. This is about the venting it or not, if it's helping it not. I don't know. I really don't. Again, if I had a way to measure how often this thing came on, or, you know, measure the energy involved using it without a vent as opposed to with a vent, wish I had that information. I don't. So you're just gonna have to, you know, trust me that it seems to me that it runs less, the heat pump, but I have no way of proving that. So that's all I got. The vents came out good. In my case, it was easy to do. It's right above here. But even so, even if you got a nearby room, like this is a closet, but it's got heat in it. And if you were to, you know, the heat's up there in the ceiling, I could have ran you know, a rigid pipe across there if I needed to. So using a 6-inch pipe according to directions, you can go 320 feet to grab a source of intake air, which 320 feet, I mean, I know what kind of house you live in, but basically 20 feet you're going to find, you know, something to, a room that you can grab, you know, the inlet heat. And I wouldn't tap into a pipe just because, you know, in the winter it's going to be heat, but in the summer it's going to be AC, so that wouldn't work. So that's all I got. Just a few pointers, I guess you would call them, or if you thought about venting your own water heater, this is what I did. Maybe you could pick up a few ideas. And that's all I got, man. So this question, is the water heater supposed to be vented or not? I really don't have an answer for you. It worked either way just as fine. It just seems to me in my head that this might be a little bit better, and that's all I can give you. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.